Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I'm streaming to you live from beautiful Budapest here in Hungary. I hope everybody has had a successful and healthy week and looking forward to a good weekend. In this class, students, we are looking at the IELTS listening section, specifically part 3 and 4, which are, of course, the more challenging parts. And this is continuing from yesterday's part 1 and 2. If you weren't here for that, that's totally okay. This will still be very, very useful for you as each of these parts are unique. Welcome, Kyber. You were able to join. That's great. I bet you're really, really happy. Congratulations, new members. I saw there was another new member in the class as well. Make sure to send me an email so that I can hook you up with our perks. Kadim Gul, our other new member that joined this class. Members, you can send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com to get hooked up with your perks, so please do so. While we wait for a few more of your peers, this class is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Please check us out there. And for the general version of the exam, visit us at gieltshelp.com. On both of these websites, we have loads and loads of materials to help you prepare and pass your IELTS exam, not only teaching you good English, but also improved communication. So make sure to visit us there and join the premium packages. This is the academic website here with the blue background. You can click that big red button to join. And this is the general version at gieltshelp.com. Click that big red button to join us there. Okay, so students, of course, we have apps as well. Your apps linked to your web accounts, Academic IELTS Help app for the aehelp.com, General IELTS Help app for gieltshelp.com. Link them together for a really integrated, dynamic, useful learning experience. And again, if you have questions, just send me an email. These live classes, they go Wednesdays to Saturdays. And the classes are for members starting at 13:30 and all chat classes at 15 o'clock according to Central European time, of course. Tomorrow we will have speaking part 2 for members and speaking part 3 for everyone as well to cap off this week. So right now we'll get into doing some listening. We are looking at exam number 2, part 3. I'm playing the audio through my headset. If there's any problem with the audio, do let me know. I have maximum volume on my side. So if it's quiet for you, please try to use a headset or turn up the volume on your end. And very, very importantly, students, please do not write your answers in the chat. That will confuse your classmates. So make sure to write your answers on a separate piece of paper or in a separate document, and then we will go through the answers together at the end. So please do not write them into the chat. That will confuse people. So just let's warm up our listening skills, and we'll get right into it. I'm going to darken up the screen a little bit here so that you can see the questions clearer. A couple of the questions in this part 3 are quite bright, so I have to darken it up so it's visible for you. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to hop over to our website here where we have our audio located. So logging into my student account at the top, and then once I'm in my student account, I can open up the audio CDs. And in my audio CDs, because this is test 2, I will go to CD 2, track 3, and we'll get going on it. So here we go, students, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully everybody's ready. Again, if there's any problems with the audio, let me know. All right, here we go.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear a student and her professor talking about their class. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Come in, Laura.
Thanks a lot for making the time to see me, Professor Gorman. As I mentioned in my email, I've been very ill this past week, and missing the first week of school is not a good way to start the term.
Indeed, it's not a very good start at all, but I think you can overcome it. You had a good grade in my course last term, and I'm sure this absence is just a bump in the road as far as this term goes. Now, what would you like to discuss?
Well, I don't even have a syllabus, so maybe you could give me one and then we could go over it in some detail.
Yes, that would be sensible. Let me grab your syllabus. Here you go. As you see, the class meets each Monday and Thursday from 10 to 11:30 in room A313 of the Juliet building. Do you know where that is?
Yes, the Juliet building is right next to the Student Union building, correct?
Yes, that's right. Okay, so next are my office hours. I hold them each Monday and Wednesday from 2:30 to 4 in the afternoon. If these do not work for you, feel free to send me an email and we can make arrangements to meet at another time. Now, let's discuss the books you'll need. As you see on the syllabus, there are 2 books you'll need for this course. You need not purchase either of them, however, as there are several copies of each available in the library.
I like keeping my books for future reference, so I would prefer to buy both books. Are they available in the bookshop?
The first one is, but the second one must be purchased from Buster's Books. Do you know where Buster's Books is located?
Roughly, but do you have an address?
Yes. The address is 3419 Young Street in Brighton.
Right, I know where that is. Do you know how much the books cost, approximately?
I think the one at the university bookshop is about £20 and the one at Buster's is about £15. So that's a total of £35 for the 2 of them.
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30.
Great. Can we talk a little about the coursework required?
Of course. There are 2 essays, 1 midterm exam and 1 final exam.
Wow, that's a lot of coursework.
Yes, but at this level I don't believe in just having 1 essay or 1 final exam determine your entire mark in a class. I like arranging it so that a student can have a chance to reflect on their ability and understanding of materials throughout the term.
That makes sense. So what are the percentages associated with each assignment and exam?
The first essay is worth 15%, the second is worth 25%, the midterm exam is worth 20%, and the final exam is worth 40%. Would you like to talk about the first essay? It is due next Friday.
Yes, could we?
Of course. The essay should be approximately 1,500 words and the topic must be chosen from the list.
And can I get a copy of the list?
There is one attached to your syllabus.
Right. So do we have to tell you what topic we are writing on beforehand?
No, it's all right. You only have to notify me if you want to do a topic that is not on the list.
Right. Is the essay due in class or can we submit it by email?
I will accept essays without penalty until midnight after the class it's due. So yes, you can submit it by email, hand it in during class or submit it to the department office. If you submit it to the office, make sure to get a timestamp put on it so that I can be sure the paper was submitted on time. And also, be sure to make...
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
And students, use that half minute wisely to check your answers. So make sure that you're not making any silly mistakes with the questions, the instructions, or with spelling, for instance. Okay, those are the most common kinds of mistakes that you can catch right away. And we'll go through the answers here together. I'll just brighten up our day a little bit for these first few and then take it down again for the next few. First of all, students, why does this student go to see the professor? Is it A, she has been in the hospital, B, she has been ill, or C, she registered late? Is it A, B, or C for 21? She does state it quite clearly, and the professor even reflects what she says. Okay, so the correct answer here, Hina and Georgie have it right, and Divas. The correct answer is B. Okay, she has been ill. So she says, I've been quite ill, and she couldn't start until now, which is a little bit late. So B is the correct answer. Use the capital letter, put it into the answer key at the end, and you will be fine for that question. Okay, she doesn't talk about the hospital. For multiple choice students, make sure to change the question into a statement. So, I'm here to see you, professor, because I've. So that's the way that I would imagine this if I read this question during the preparation time, is I'm here to see you. I'm here to see you because. Okay, and she does say something similar to this. So I'm here because I've been quite ill and I missed the first few days of class. I believe that's what she says. So turning the questions for multiple choice into statements is very important. And also you can quickly jot it down if you can't catch all of these. So don't read these and hope the answer is going to jump into your face. But instead, write down I was ill, okay? And then later you can match it with the correct answer, okay? If you don't hear hospital, then don't choose that one. You don't visualize it, okay? So again, those are some important points for multiple choice questions. Turn the question into a statement, listen for the answer, jot down what you think is the answer quickly into your question booklet, and then match it up later if you don't catch it. Okay. All right. For these next few questions, I'm going to make it again a little bit dark because this chart is quite bright, so you won't see it if I brighten it up. You won't see the questions, and then I'll promise I'll stop being a silhouette for the rest of the class. Okay. So here you had to fill out the class syllabus. A syllabus is basically the curriculum instructions for that class in university. Okay, they talk about that. So here we have the category of what it is. Here we have the answers of when or why and so on. So class times, number 22. It's something and Thursday here. You just had to catch the day. And I can see that a lot of you, Elena, Ömer, Erkin, Nazir, have it correct. It's Monday. Now, days of the week are proper nouns. So you definitely need a capital, and that's given to you here as well. You can see that it's a capital letter. Now, you don't need the whole word. In your answer sheet, you can just write mun like that. So you can use the abbreviation. And I recommend using the abbreviation because it's much faster. Okay, if you really want to write Monday, still use the abbreviation during the listening time, and then during the 10 minutes to transfer your answers, you can write out Monday if you are worried that that's going to be a problem. It won't be, but if you're worried that it is, you can still write it out at that time. Don't waste time in this critical, quick audio, okay? All right. The location. So the location is a building on campus. You had to catch the name of this building. They do not give you necessarily the spelling in part 3 because they expect you to be able to spell these words at this level. All right. So, yes, Skyber, I'm happy you were fine. I know you were struggling, so I'm happy you were able to join. So Fabrian says Juliet. The reason why you get it wrong, Fabrian, is because of the small j. So make sure that you write it big. Names are proper nouns. So Juliet, like that. That's the English spelling. If you use the French spelling, like that, they'll take that, okay? In English, remember that English is coming also from French, modern English. So in modern English, which is the English we use today, you can use the French spelling for names as well, okay? Modern English is a mix of Latin, French, English, Arabic, German, Arabic, a couple other languages. It's mostly a Germanic language, Germanic and French. All right, so Juliet, Juliet, either one of those would be okay. And double check your spelling for these kinds of names when you are reviewing and when you're transferring. Okay, so here for question number 24, you had to get the actual category as opposed to the answer here. So we know that it's on Monday and Wednesday, but what's on Monday and Wednesday for number 24? Okay, it's not office house, Raheem, it's office hours. Office hours, it means when you can find the professor in their office. So office hours, okay? And again, you can abbreviate. So office, it doesn't have to be capital because it's a proper noun. And you can do hours like that, okay? So learning the abbreviation for hours and minutes is a good idea. Abbreviations save you time, energy, and spelling sometimes. So they can really be that important difference between a band 8 and an 8.5, okay? So learn those abbreviations. All right. Now, the books for this course, and by the way, students, this is kind of what a typical syllabus looks like in college or university. This is the first piece of paper that you'll get in your class, your course syllabus, so that you know what you can expect in the semester. All right, so the required books, book 1, it's available at the bookshop. What's the cost of that book? Shaikh, hours and hour, plurals matter. So if it's hour, it's just HR. If it's hours, it's HRS. Know that difference too, okay? All right, so a lot of you got the idea that it's 20, and it is 20, and you don't need to use pounds because you have the symbol for pounds right there, okay? When the symbol is included, then you do not need the symbol. Here it's included, so no need for the symbol, just the number 20, okay? Don't write the word pounds. Don't put the word or the symbol for pounds because you can get it wrong if you do that, all right? So pay attention. It's kind of tricky because sometimes the symbol is not there. Sometimes it's there. So double check for that, okay? Double check to make sure it's there or not. All right, book 2 is available at Something Books, and the cost is £15. Now, they say this before and they say it after. So they give you this answer about 3 different times, hoping that you can catch it. Again, they don't give you the spelling because they say it, okay? So you're right. Yeah, it's Buster's Books. Buster's, there is an S. So it's Buster's Books. So you could do Buster's Books or just Buster's Books without the apostrophe. It's fine. If you do Buster's Books like this, showing possession, that's fine too. We don't really know what kind of possession, if it's more than one Buster or just one Buster or the name. So all of these will be okay as long as you have that S, okay? Clearly all 3 times they say Busters and not just Buster Books. They say Buster's Books. So any one of these 3 would be okay, all right? Any one of these three. The best guess is what Dr. Krishna is saying. It's probably this one, but they'll take all three. So IELTS is not that strict that they'll be like, well, you didn't know that it would be just one buster who owns the bookshop. No, they're not going to be that intense. They'll take all three of these as long as you have that S. Okay. So Buster's books. Okay, and then you had a little bit of break to review the remaining questions. And it's kind of odd that you would have a break within the same question sequence, but that can happen in some of these exams. So pay attention to that, okay? It is possible to have a break within the same question sequence, all right? So it might seem a bit awkward, but it's the way that it works. So here they talk about the coursework. And they say that there's 2 essays, a midterm, and a something. So the first essay is worth 15%. The second essay is worth what percent? Okay, everybody's saying 25%. Now, of course, you should be able to get that because 15 plus 25 plus 20 plus 40 equals 100%. And as we know, most courses are graded out of 100%. So here you just had to do some simple math. If you missed this number, you were daydreaming, you dropped your pencil, something unexpected happened. So again, logic, okay? If you miss an answer, don't panic, just use your logic, stay the course, okay? Don't freak out. All right, number 28 was the final exam, okay? Not just final, outmatch. Final would not be enough. So if you write final, this would be wrong. Why? Why is it wrong if you write only final? You need final exam here. Okay, if you write final exam, it's correct. Why is it wrong to write just final? Why do you think? So if you write only final, why do you think that you'll get marked wrong? Why would the IELTS people say that, hey, that's wrong, that's the wrong answer? Why do they say that you need the word exam? What do you think the logic is? And I want you to think about this. So Sarav Deep says there's no value of it. And Flower Sun says we don't know what final, okay? Because it's final what? And that's right. So if you just write final, it could be final paper. Or it could be final project, okay? The IELTS examiner expects you to make the answer clear. So it has to be final exam. Final project would be wrong, final paper would be wrong, and final nothing would also be wrong. You have to have final exam. So keep in mind, students, that when you have these 2 or 3 word for the answer, sometimes it's only one. Sometimes it's only one number or one word, okay? Like here, 25, because you have percent, okay? But you have to check with the answer. So during the review time and during the time to transfer your answers to your answer sheet, check to make sure that you're specific enough that it's clear what you're writing, okay? So we'll go on to these next couple questions here in a second, but I'm just going to make a quick note of that and brighten up our day a little bit, all right? Because this is an important tip, and a lot of students who have good English skills, good listening skills, they miss the important points, the easy points, because they're not paying attention to this little detail, an important detail, okay? So this is a listening section tip here that I want you to keep in mind, okay? So one more time. During the review time, okay, during the time to review your answers. That's why IELTS gives you that 30 seconds after each part. So during the time to review your answers for 30 seconds, at the end of each part, for fill in the blank questions. Check to make sure that you have enough words that the answer is sensible. Okay, which means comprehensible. Specific enough to be comprehensible. Okay, so don't lose that easy mark, all right? Okay, so let's go to these last couple of questions now. Write no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. Okay, so again, no more than 2 words, so pay attention, right? So how long should the first assignment be, approximately? So what's the answer for this? Number 29. And again, this is going to strengthen what we just talked about. Yeah, so very good, Alak. So Alak Haider is paying attention to what I was just putting down. Alak says 1,500 words. Very good. So you need both to get this correct. If you only have 1,500, it would be wrong, okay? Because it doesn't say here if it's words, paragraphs, pages, characters, okay? Some of you are saying, well, 1,500 pages, of course not. But what if it's 1,500 characters? There are some kind of strange assignments where professors will ask you to write just an ingenious 1-paragraph final concept or something. So it could be 1,500 characters, okay? You never know, all right? So it's 1,500 words. It's 1,500, Satinder, not 15,000, okay? 1,500 words, all right? Okay, and then we had what's called an inference type question where you have to carefully listen to several pieces of information to get the right answer. So this question, definitely review it carefully when you see this before the audio starts, okay? So one more time, make sure to carefully review inference type questions before the audio starts. The student's class ends at 11:30 a.m. on the day the paper is due. Decide whether a paper handed in is on time or late. Write the correct letter A or B next to question 30. A, the student receives a late penalty. B, the essay is on time, no penalty. Okay, careful reading here. The paper is handed in at 5 p.m. the same day, dropped off at the department office with no time stamp received. Okay, so here for inference type questions, pay really careful attention to every little detail of tense and negatives as well. A lot of students here, unfortunately, would get this wrong. Okay, no timestamp. So the correct answer is A. The student receives a late penalty. Okay, the professor very clearly says, and this could happen in university. This is why they put it into the exam. Okay, the professor very clearly says if you hand it in at the department office, okay, it's dropped off at the department office, you have to get a timestamp so I know it was handed in on time. Obviously implying that if there's no timestamp and it's after the class, it even shows you that very clearly it's after the end of class because it's 5 p.m. and the class finishes before that. Okay, so the answer is the student gets a late penalty. We can easily infer that because the professor will not be picking it up until the next day. And there is no mercy in university students. They go by the rules, all right? US, Canada, Australia, there's no getting a mark for having a nice smile or other reasons. Rules are rules. If you don't follow them, you get penalized, all right? So that was A. So be careful. All right, students, so definitely a few important tips there on how to use your time wisely, how to think about multiple choice questions, what to do with these inference type questions. Okay, is everybody clear on those important points that I mentioned? Okay, how to use time wisely, the review time, what to do with abbreviations. Those were some of the important points. Know your abbreviations. Okay, know your spellings. All right, inference type questions that I just showed you here, multiple choice questions, turning questions into statements. I gave you a lot of tips there. Hopefully you paid attention to all of them. And of course you can review the video later as well. Okay. All right, students. So how are you doing so far for this section 3? What did you get out of 10? So how did you do? Dr. Krishna says 10 out of 10. Right on, Dr. Krishna. That's great. I think you're going for a PhD as well, so that's really good because you're going to need a high band score. The higher, the better. Okay. Georgie says 9 out of 10. Erkin, 8 out of 10. Alak says 6 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, for part 3, if you're going for a band 7, okay, so if you're going for band 7 or more, you should be looking to get about 7 or more correct for part 3. Okay, so you should be aiming for 7 or more. If you're getting under 7, you're still in a 6-5 range overall, usually. But you have to be careful. Okay, all right. Students, let's do listening part 4, okay? So we're going to go right into listening part 4. It's going to be a little bit more challenging, a little bit faster, no break in the audio. Again, the audio is coming from the website aehelp.com. So if you want all of the practice exams, just join the premium package there. And now let's do this together. Once more, students, do not write your answers into the chat. Please wait until the end. As you can see, it's easy to make a mistake and give a false answer. That will just make it difficult for other students who are paying attention. So save your answers on a separate piece of paper. We'll share them later at the end. Okay, so here goes section 4. Just going to hop over to the website here. And again, if it's quiet for you, just turn up the volume. Use a headset. Okay, it's max volume on my end. So here we go, everyone.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a lecture about the dinosaur Tyrannosaurus rex. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good evening, class. If you are registered for Anthropology 322, you are in the right place. Today we will be talking about the most famous of all dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex as it is commonly referred to. This dinosaur has a fearsome reputation, mainly due to popular culture films and books. In this class, we will be discussing the facts regarding the Tyrannosaurus rex, as opposed to its Hollywood depiction. Tyrannosaurus rex lived from approximately 80 to 65 million years ago. Of course, the reason it died out 65 million years ago is the same reason all of the dinosaurs died out at that time, a massive asteroid which hit the Earth and destroyed almost all life. The period in which the Tyrannosaurus rex lived is known as the Late Cretaceous period. This reality is in contrast to fictional portrayals, which often cast the T-Rex as living in the Jurassic period. In fact, T-Rex did not come to be until 65 million years after the end of the Jurassic period. Tyrannosaurus rex was a meat-eater, but it is not entirely clear whether it killed its own prey or if it merely scavenged the prey of other dinosaurs. In our minds, we imagine T-Rex fighting to the death with other dinosaurs, but it is not known for sure whether this is the truth. Tyrannosaurus rex was a large dinosaur, not nearly the largest, mind you, but still large by any standards of modern-day wildlife. The dinosaur's length was approximately 12 metres, its height could reach 6 metres, and it weighed anywhere between 5 and 7 tonnes. That weight is the equivalent of about 80 average-sized human beings. If humans had been around back then, we would have been the perfect size for an afternoon snack. The location of T-Rex fossils discovered is very interesting. They have been found in western North America, as far south as Texas and as far north as Alberta, and they have also been found in eastern Asia, mainly in Mongolia. How is this possible? How can fossils be found in such different regions of the world? The answer is what geologists call continental drift. The continents have not always been in the same location. They have shifted, and around the time of T-Rex, western North America and eastern Asia were connected. This explains perfectly the discovery of the fossils in the different locations. One of the more well-known interesting facts about Tyrannosaurus rex is that it had extremely short arms. They measured only about 1 metre long, which is very short when you consider the size of the dinosaur. To put such small arms in perspective, it would be as if humans had arms that measured only 10 centimetres. What use would they be? Well, that is one of the questions that has led scientists to believe that T-Rex was a scavenger and not a predator. It is very difficult to believe that it could have been an effective predator, with arms being so important for hunting. Another fact that leads scientists to believe T-Rex was a scavenger was its extremely strong sense of smell. This enabled T-Rex to smell carcasses over long distances, giving it a big advantage as a scavenger. On the other side of the argument, T-Rex had very large serrated teeth, which would have been perfect for tearing through the tough skin of other dinosaurs. If T-Rex was a pure scavenger, it may not have required such teeth. Another interesting point about their teeth was that they were replaceable over time. Unlike humans, who grow only 2 sets in a lifetime, T-Rex's teeth could be replaced over and over throughout a lifetime. Again, this is evidence that they were, at least in part, likely predatory.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
And so there you basically have 10.5 minutes before the start of the reading section in the paper-based exam. You have half minute to look over your answers, and then of course another 10 minutes to transfer your answers into the answer sheet. We're going to go over the questions and the answers now together. So let's do this together. A lecture in an anthropology class talking about the famous Tyrannosaurus rex, or also known as the T-Rex. Here we go, students. So question 31, it was a kind of a multiple choice where you had to listen for a few different facts and then choose whether it's A, fact 1 and 3, or B, fact 1, 2, 3, 4, or C, fact 1, 3, and 4. So the question was, which of these events happened 65 million years ago? And again, you had to kind of just listen for the actual answer to be able to get it. So the dinosaurs became extinct, sure. Tyrannosaurus rex came into existence. Well, maybe, maybe not. Tyrannosaurus rex died out. A large asteroid hit the Earth. All right, now again, if we're following logic, this happens, and then this happens. And of course, at the same time, this happens. So it's all logic. Tyrannosaurus is a dinosaur. Dinosaurs become extinct. So Tyrannosaurus becomes extinct. It dies out. It's checking, of course, that you know that the meaning of extinct is the same as died out. Okay? Why did that all happen? Because an asteroid hit the Earth. Tyrannosaurus rex came into existence. No, that was a little bit earlier. So the correct answer for this one is C. Okay, so it's C. 1, 3, and 4. All right. Okay, so if you got C, good for you. If not, make sure to apply good logic the next time that you read this kind of a question. But for those of you who got C, congratulations. All right. Okay, let's keep going. So Tyrannosaurus rex lived during which time? A, the Jurassic, B, the late Cretaceous, or C, the late Triassic period. So number 32. When did T-Rex live? Yeah, so T-Rex lived during this time. The professor very clearly explains that T-Rex came way later than the Jurassic period. Of course, some of you, if you're thinking about the movie, that's going to confuse you. And of course, they named the movie Jurassic Park because it sounds really cool. Jurassic Park, whoa, that sounds great. It would not sound as great if they named the movie The Late Cretaceous Park. Late Cretaceous, what? Yeah, Hollywood is not science, okay? Careful about Hollywood movies and mixing that into IELTS. IELTS is scientific-based exam. Hollywood is not scientific-based exam, okay? Jurassic Park just sounds good, and Jurassic World sounds good, but that's not when the T-Rex was alive, okay? Late Cretaceous and late Triassic just doesn't sell as many movie tickets, unfortunately. All right, so B is the correct answer. T-Rex lived during the late Cretaceous period. Now, here we go. So again, more multiple choice, and you want to change this into a statement. The height of T-Rex was. So that's how I would change it, and the professor does use the word height instead of tall. A, B, or C? Yeah, 6 meters. What does 12 meters stand for? Did anybody catch that? A? A was a little bit tricky. Anybody catch what 12 meters stood for? It stood for, let's see who's paying attention. Not height, not large. Nargiza, Georgie. That's right, Ildar. It stood for length. Yeah, length. Okay. Obviously, because the dinosaur has a big tail, right? So there's my very cute and basic T-Rex. It's like a little dragon, sharp teeth. Okay, so obviously this way, he's much longer than this way. Okay, otherwise balancing would be a serious problem, right? And of course, he had those stumpy little hands, right? Stumpy little arms, okay? All right, 12 meters long, 6 meters high. A height of 6 meters is what she said, okay? All right. So let's keep going here. So B and B, all right? Now, the letters can really repeat sometimes in these multiple choice questions. This one you really had to catch the words. So number 34, the theory which explains why fossils are solidified bones, or the remains of where bones were, are found in very different regions of the world. It's called, so what is this called? Rangana, Rahim, very good. Continental drift. Capitals, small letters are okay here. Okay, now an interesting tip for this one. So all of you who got continental drift, you're doing great. An interesting tip for this one. Did everybody notice that when she gave this answer, her intonation was a deflection? Okay, it was going down. So intonation, of course, is the ups and downs of our voice as we speak. And when our voice goes up, like this, it's called an inflection. And when our voice goes down, when our voice goes down, it's a deflection. Okay, you don't need to memorize those unless you're planning to be a linguist or an English teacher. So inflections and deflections, it's used in some other science as well. Just an interesting tip, students, when you have these kinds of answers, especially notice how this answer, it's a period. So it's just before the end of a sentence. Usually the end of sentences in English, especially when we're explaining a concept, will end with a deflection. So the theory which explains why dinosaur fossils of the same dinosaur are found in very different parts of the world is because of continental drift. Okay, or an inflection, continental drift. All right, New Zealanders tend to inflect more. Americans, Canadians, Brits deflect more, but you'll hear that very significant deflection at the end of a sentence. And if you see that it's the end of a sentence, it's going to be a good catch. Is everybody clear on that tip that I just gave you there? It's a good one, especially if you're going for those high bands with these scientific lectures. Okay, the period, watch for it, and watch for the deflections and the inflections. Okay, all right, so keep that in mind. Inflections, deflections, listen for them. Okay, of course in your classes as well, when you're in university. When professors have these very distinct inflections, deflections in their lectures, it's a good chance you're listening to information that will be on your next exam. Okay, all right. So here you had to fill out a table, and you have some really clear instructions, so pay attention. Tyrannosaurus rex, predator or scavenger. That's the conclusion. Pay attention. No more than 2 words. So column 1 is the evidence, column 2 is the implication, and column 3 is the conclusion. Extremely something arms. Short, very good, Georgie Nazir. Shut up deep, and yep, short. Extremely short arms. You saw my drawing, right? Extremely short arms. Arms are important for hunting. So if it had extremely short arms, and arms are important for hunting, the conclusion must be for number 36 that T-Rex was, that's right, Erkin, a scavenger. Scavenger. Don't get the spelling wrong because it's right underneath it. That would be horrible to get the wrong spelling. It's scavenger. It's right there, okay, underneath it. We know that those are the answers because it's predator or scavenger. All right. So next one, strong sense of smell, able to detect carcasses. Carcasses, students, it's remains of a dead animal. Okay, that's what a carcass is. It's the remains of a dead animal. Able to detect carcasses from long distances. Yeah, distances. And it's plural here, distances. So very good. All right. Okay, and of course that means it's a scavenger. Large serrated teeth. So big, sharp teeth. Able to tear through tough, what? For number 38. Able to tear through, Zokhreh Vakhdati says skin. And you are correct. So able to tear through tough skin. Absolutely. Very good. And if the animal is able to tear through tough skin, carcasses are usually soft and mushy, especially if they've been in the warm sun for a while. So if it's able to tear through tough skin, it means it's probably fresh skin, which means that the animal, the dinosaur, is Makhta and Ildar agree that it means that the animal is a predator. Predator means a hunter. Don't write hunter, write predator. It's here. It's in the question. Get the spelling correct. Number 40. Something teeth. Did not have to be careful with the teeth. Could break its teeth, chisel its teeth, crack its teeth. So that means that it had teeth like, I think sharks have these kinds of teeth to this day. Sharks and a few other animals. What kind of teeth did it have if it didn't have to be careful? That's right, Hina Mohit. Replaceable. Yeah, replaceable. Replaceable. So probably there were no T-Rex dentists during the late Cretaceous period, or they wouldn't be making a lot of money anyway if there were T-Rex dentists, because you wouldn't really worry about a cavity. All you would need to do is just bust out that tooth and you're good to go. So no T-Rex dentists. All right. For those students who were here yesterday and today, what did you get out of 40? So what was your total? Okay, if you got over 6 in part 4, that's great. What did you get out of 40? Okay, Nargiza says 32. Let me check your score, students. So I'll check your band score here, okay? So let me darken up the screen because we're going to hop over to the website here. And we're going to check some scores for some of these students. So on the website, at both aehelp.com and gieltshelp.com, at the very bottom, okay, you're going to see quite a few different extra pages that you can go to. One of them is called the score calculator here. Okay, so you click on that score calculator. This is at aehelp.com. And then once you're in the score calculator, you can enter in your raw score. There are tables for this as well, but this is really simple if you're on our website. So here you have listening. There you have the raw score. So for those of you who got 32, you would have a 7.5. So you see, students, you really can only get 8 questions wrong in all of these sections to get a 7.5. Okay, those higher bands, you really don't have a lot of wiggle room. If you got 28, like Omali Algali, 28 is a 6.5. Okay, 28 is a 6.5. Nok Ravi, 30, would be a 7. Okay. Fabrian, 35, is an 8. That's very good. All right, nicely done. Shirojidin, 36, I believe that's still an 8. 8.5 and 9 are just the very top scores. But anyway, you can check that out on the website. If I didn't get your raw score, take a look. And students, tomorrow we'll have speaking part 2 for members, followed by speaking part 3 for everyone. Again, be sure to get our HD videos, interactive courses, original practice exams, and you can get those from aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com. If you're having trouble with credit cards and so on, you can also buy the full version of the app, Academic IELTS Help, and then link your web account and it will activate your full web account. So you can purchase the website course or the app, but only buy one because they link together. The price is the same. And then same with the GIELTS. So General IELTS Help for the app. For some people, I know it's easier to use their Google Pay accounts and so on. So you can do that and then link to the website. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you for joining me in this listening session. I hope everybody has a great start to their weekend, and hopefully I'll catch all of you tomorrow for some speaking part 2 and part 3 for Saturday. Much love to all of you from Budapest. Bye for now. Adrian signing out.